Hello everyone, my name is Heather and welcome to the channel Bookables. Welcome to another book talk video. I have done some of these before. I'll link them down below. I have done a video where are these book talk books worth the hype and things like that. I'm always enamored by what books really blow up on social media and why, and are they worth it or not, and that's very subjective. I think one book cannot be for everyone. There's gonna be some people that love it, there's gonna be some people that don't like it, but most of these books, like, people really cherish and adore, and I'm always like, interesting. So today I'm going to talk about popular TikTok books that I haven't read yet and whether or not I think I'm going to read them. I have a list about maybe 10 or so. I really tried to scour them, and honestly, a lot of them I have read, which I'm going to do a whole nother video of books, of TikTok, book talk books I think that are worth the hype. Then I'm going to do a video of book talk reads that I don't think are worth the hype. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be part of a series. So we'll have to just buckle up and see. But these are books that I've asked you guys on Instagram. I have looked kind of online. I'm missing some, I am sure, because am I 100% thorough of my research? No, I never am, but I do my best. So yeah, these are ones I've kind of looked online, asked you, and here we go. So I'll tell you if I think I'm going to read them or not. A lot of them probably not. First up, we have Babble. This is I think this is by the author who did The Poppy War, which is another book that was very, very popular. They are really big fantasy books, and I can say without a doubt, I will probably not ever read them. I'm just not a fantasy girly. I like romantasy, sure, but fantasy straight up is just not my thing, and that's okay. I have dipped my toe in it. I have tried it out, and there's some few I like, but most of them, it's just not for me, and that's totally okay. I'd say if you're a big fantasy lover, I would check these out. I do think that they are good reads. I've heard about them. Good reads. But you get what I'm saying. This is one that I could say I could probably cross off my list and be 100% okay with not reading it. Next up, we have The Housemaid by Freida McFadden. You can probably do any book by her, but I would say The Housemaid is when she blew up. And I think a lot of these books blew up on BookTok, and they were indie books. And since they blew up, a lot of them have been now traditionally published, which I am super happy for them. I think that is awesome. That is the dream of an author, you know, to be an indie author and then get published. Like, that's awesome. But this is the one I believe that really blew up. And this is one I probably will read. I have read one book by, no, have I read one book or two books? I think I've only read one book by her, The Inmate, and it was wild, I'll tell you that. Her books, I will say, are very easy to get through. They are very quick reads, which I think is good for a thriller. That's what you want. This one we'll have to see. I have another book that's very, very similar to this one, and it's very, very similar, and that's The Maid's Diary by Laura Ann White. But this one I think I will read. I would love to do a whole video on maybe her books and figure out which one I love or not. We'll have to see. Then I have The Atlas Six. This is another fantasy one. I believe it's kind of, I'm not sure about this one. I've heard about it. I can tell you what the cover looks like. It's black and it's got gold on it, but I don't know anything about it. I want to say it's like, is it almost like a boarding school or type of gothic type of book? Maybe almost like Six of Crows or something, I think. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to read this one. It doesn't really appeal to me. I say I don't know anything about it, but if you've read the book and loved it, make a case for it if I should read it or not. Seriously, I really take what you guys say to heart, so please let me know. So I don't know for this one. Then we have The Spanish Love Deception. This is one I tried to read, and I DNF'd. I did not like the writing whatsoever in this book. It was a long book. Like, romance books sometimes I think are way too long, or sometimes they're way too short. I have to be right in the middle. For this one, like, it was all about two characters that like hate each other, but they agreed to go to a wedding. And like, I think I was on page 150 and they still weren't at the wedding yet. I was like, good Lord. But it meandered. I just did not love it. I did not. But this book blew up, and I could say for sure I'm not going to read that because I DNF'd it. So there you go. We have A Little Life. This is probably, I've heard, the saddest book that's ever been written. So no, I will not be reading it. I believe it's a nonfiction. It's a memoir, and I don't know the details of it, but I think it chronicles a man's life and his really hardships and things like that. And I probably should read it, honestly, to get his perspective, to get what he's gone through, the trauma he's gone through. But I just don't know if I can. I'm a very emotional person. I don't know if that's me or just because I'm a Virgo. I don't know. But if I have a lot of things going on in my own personal life that are just kind of weighing me down, if I read a sad book, it is going to really pull me down. This is why I haven't read a Kristen Hanna book in years, because I know it's going to affect me a lot, and it just will. So I think this book will definitely do that for me. If you don't know, I've had a rough 2 years of my life with seasons with my parents, my husband's parents, and it has been hard. So I feel like that's already emotionally draining enough for me. Like, I always feel like I'm running on empty. So I think if I read this, I would be like breaking down like on the side of the road, if you get what I'm saying. So this is one I don't think I'll ever read. I don't know. I could maybe, but I understand the importance of it. You know, I don't ever want to say a book's not important. So just so you know. Then we have Normal People. I think this is by Sally Rooney, I think. This was a show too. I don't have any interest in it. I don't. I think it's just not for me. I think I tried watching the show, wasn't for me, and that's just it. Sometimes I can just tell when something's probably not going to be it for me, and I think this is one of them. Speaking of, A Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller? I did read Circe, and I did like it. It was okay. I'm just not into the big Greek mythology type of thing. It interests me, but I'm just not super interested in it. So Song of Achilles has been out for a while, and I just know it's way more popular than Circe. So I don't know. I just don't have any interest in it, if that makes sense. I feel like I'm saying no to a lot of these. Next up is one I actually have on my TBR, and that is Powerless by Lauren Roberts. I've heard a lot about this one. I've heard it's compared to like Hunger Games and Divergent, and I was like, shut up and take my money, because I will always buy books that are compared to that, because that is what I kind of fell in love with Booktube when I was super young, like in my young like 20s. But I am going to read it. I believe it's a YA fantasy, so I do have it on my list. Yay! That is one I for sure will be reading. So I have two on here, so there you go. Then we have Colleen Hoover books. Pick one. Pick any of them. I want to say probably, I don't think Ugly Love got super popular, but maybe like It Ends With Us, or I can't remember any of her books. I have read a few of them. Don't get me wrong. I've read a few of them. And I have learned that I do not like her books. I think they are... Verity is another one. I think I bought it at one point. I don't have it anymore. That is very popular of hers. I don't like her books. I think they're toxic relationships, honestly. Like, I do not think that they're great. So that is just me. I know she has got a big fan base, and I'm super happy for her, but I just don't get it. I don't get it, and I won't be reading any of her books, and that is okay. If you love them, good on you. I am so happy for you, but they are not for me. Next up is Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan. I have read one other book by this author called Grayson's Vow, and I did enjoy it, so I do want to read this one, because when you hear Mia Sheridan, you always hear about Archer's Voice, and I've heard it's a very sweeping love story. I think it's going to be also pretty emotional, which is why I probably haven't read it by now, but I do plan to read that one. That is one for sure I could say I'm going to read. Then I have, the last one I have written, like I said, I'm missing a lot. I'm probably missing a ton, is Magnolia Parks. This is another one that I think it's still indie. I'm not quite sure. But again, this one, the cover is very interesting. The covers are very, very busy. I think they either got redesigned, or I'm not sure. But when I look at it, it doesn't, like when I look at the description of it, it doesn't really speak a lot to me. So I'm probably not going to check it out. I'm not 100% sure. So that one's going to have to be a big question mark. I mean, I feel like I'm missing a ton. I could go on right now and just look up like popular Booktok books, and I feel like I've probably read or attempted to read them. Like when I go on Google, oh look, A Little Life, It Ends With Us, that's the one. Normal People, The Hunger Games, read it. The Silent Patient, read it. Beach Read, read it. Divergent, read it. So I've read a lot of them. The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett. I've heard of that. I'm thinking I should read that one. Adeline. That's another one. That is a dark romance one that I've heard a lot about. I might attempt it. I just don't think I'm a dark romance lady, and that's just it. Another one is Butcher and Blackbird, which I actually just bought. So I do plan to read that one too. This is like a serial killer one. I am not sure. Let's see, what other ones? I can't see when I look at them. Oh, I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy. That's one that I do want to read. I do plan to read that. I don't know of other ones. Like, if I go on Amazon, Booktok Books 2023, Let's see that. Things We Never Got Over, read it. Shatter Me series, read it. Twisted Love, read it. Colleen Hoover, The House Across the Lake, read it. A lot of these I have read. Don't Let Her Stay by Nicola Sanders. I have never heard of that one. So I feel like I've read a good majority of them. Maybe I don't know. I feel like I have. So I feel confident with this list now. At the beginning, I was like, oh, I don't know if this is good enough or not. But I don't know. I don't know. Listed any of these books that you have read and loved and adore, make your case for them down below. Like, I would love to hear which ones you think I should read, which ones I should skedaddle on. Let me know. I'm always willing to try any genre and things like that. Some of these I can say right now, I'll probably never read, but you never know. Never say never. So yeah. These are just Booktok books that are really super popular that I haven't read yet. Maybe one day I'll read them. We will have to see, honestly. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.